Our time right now in the studio is Carolina Coral. I welcome the viewers of Freedom. Let's get straight to the important news. Over the past day, Russian occupiers have launched massive attacks on 17 settlements in the Zaporizhzhia region, carrying out more than 600 strikes with various types of weapons. This was reported by Ivan Fedorov, head of the Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration. According to the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Russian army used 390 drones of various modifications, mostly FPV, carried out 17 airstrikes, more than 200 artillery strikes, and fired 6 times from multiple launch rocket systems. Rescuers who arrived to deal with the aftermath of the shelling in the Poltava region came under a second Russian strike. A fire truck was damaged. More than 140 rescuers and over 40 pieces of equipment were working at the scene. All the fires were successfully extinguished. It is known that as a result of last night's Russian attack and falling debris, energy infrastructure facilities, power lines, industrial enterprises, and dozens of private homes were damaged. Russia carried out the most massive attack on Ukraine's gas production infrastructure since the start of the full-scale war. Over the past night, the aggressor launched 35 missiles at Naftogaz facilities in the Kharkiv and Poltava regions. A significant portion of them were ballistic, along with 60 attack drones. Some of the targets were hit by air defense forces, but a significant number of facilities were damaged. Some of the destruction is critical.
There is no military purpose whatsoever. This latest act of Russian treachery is aimed solely at disrupting the heating season and depriving us of the ability to heat Ukrainian homes in winter. Efforts are underway to eliminate the consequences of the strike. We are working with Ukraine's partners to ensure that the response to this strike and its impact on the overall situation is prompt and sufficient. Terror must not achieve its goal anywhere. Serhiy Koretsky, chairman of the board of Naftogaz of Ukraine. From a statement on the website, Naftogaz Group.
Delivering humanitarian aid to residents of the frontline areas in Donetsk region is becoming more difficult with each passing day. Russian attack drones are hunting for any ground transport. That's why foreign volunteers who are delivering humanitarian aid have turned to the military for help, so they can organize this process together by air. Our film crew saw what came out of this.
Frankie and Koen are volunteers from the Netherlands who, from the very first days of Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine, decided to help people living in frontline areas. They have carried out hundreds of humanitarian missions delivering food and hygiene supplies. The foreigners say that just a year ago, it was much easier to deliver aid to people on their own.
There are many locations we used to be able to reach, but now we can't because of the large number of drones. It's very dangerous. We were looking for a way to keep delivering aid to people by any means possible, and the military helped us with that.
To organize alternative delivery routes, the volunteers turned to the border guards of the Pomsta Brigade. After all, the guys are constantly helping people who, for various reasons, remain in frontline settlements.
It happens. They come and ask for water, and sometimes for hedgehogs, and sometimes we even deliver liqueur to our guys closer to the positions, and they pass it on to the civilians.
For air delivery, food and hygiene products are repacked from boxes into bags. That way, it will be easier for the drone to carry the package. In addition to food, they also put letters from residents of the Netherlands with words of support for Ukrainians.
Also in the boxes.
They'll be able to read the messages from the Netherlands in the boxes as well. They're sent with love. It's wonderful. The servicemen say that gusty winds are no obstacle to sending help to people. However, there are other risks to successfully completing the mission.
So, there are always fewer risks.
It might spit, right?
Yeah.
Just a few minutes later, the Kazan drone with its valuable cargo approaches the positions.
Raisins, pencils. Get ready to receive a little gift, one short one.
The drone can drop the package on its own, but the soldiers are asked to back it up and help a bit so the cargo stays intact.
Fakel, pull the bag, give it a try. Everything went to hell.
This is exactly how supplies are delivered daily to the frontline positions of Ukrainian defenders.
It's really convenient in terms of saving lives. The drone quickly flies through the air, drops the package, and returns. There's no need to risk vehicles, and you can quickly escape to cover and keep the personnel safe.
Having delivered everything needed to both the people and their comrades, the border guards are getting ready for night operations. At sunset, the bomber Kazan will fly out to carry out not humanitarian, but combat missions, attacking both enemy equipment and personnel. Elena Grimova, Yevgeny Karmazin from Donetsk region for Freedom TV channel.
The SB struck at a distance of 1,400 kilometers. According to our sources in the Security Service of Ukraine, on the night of October 3rd, drones from the Special Operations Center hit one of Russia's key oil refineries, Orsknefteorgsintez, in the Orenburg region. This refinery operates 4 primary oil processing units. Its capacity is 6.6 million tons of oil per year. The plant produces about 30 different types of products: gasoline and diesel fuel, oils, aviation kerosene, bitumen, and fuel oil. According to our sources in the Security Service of Ukraine, almost 40% of Russian refinery capacities are currently idle, which directly affects the aggressor's budget revenues and, of course, reduces its ability to continue the war against Ukraine. 15 drones were detected overnight above the Belgian military base Elsenborn, not far from the German border. According to Belgian media, the army base and training ground cover an area of more than 28 square kilometers and are located just 5 kilometers from the border. The Belgian Ministry of Defense confirmed the appearance of the drones, and according to preliminary information, they came from German territory, where they had previously been spotted by the police in the city of Dern. Who exactly was controlling the drones is still unknown. The military has already launched an investigation. Munich airport temporarily suspended operations after unidentified drones were spotted nearby. First, the German Air Traffic Control Service restricted flights and then completely halted them. As a result, 17 flights were canceled and another 15 were redirected to other cities. Travel plans were disrupted for 3,000 passengers. An explosion occurred at one of the largest oil refineries on the west coast of the United States. The fire was so intense that the flames could be seen from many kilometers away. According to California authorities, the fire was contained within one area of the plant. There were no casualties or injuries. I should also add that the refinery, located in Los Angeles County, has a capacity of 290,000 barrels per day, and its storage tanks hold more than 12 million barrels of petroleum products. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which is under occupation by Russian forces, has been operating on backup diesel generators for 10 days now. This creates serious risks, since neither the generators nor the plant itself are designed to operate under such conditions. This was stated by Ukraine's Deputy Minister of Energy, Orenburg Yakimchuk. She noted that Ukraine does not have reliable data on the guaranteed duration of the generator's operation or their reliability under such a load. Additionally, according to the Deputy Minister, the situation is complicated by the gradual degradation of equipment and the inability to carry out scheduled maintenance and regulatory work.
The generators in the plant are not designed for this and have never operated in this mode for so long. This significantly increases the risk of generator failure, which could lead to the shutdown of the nuclear fuel cooling system and the disconnection of critical safety systems, and then to a nuclear or radiation accident. In addition, we have information that just recently the Russians even had to repair one of the generators that had broken down. Orenburg Yakimchuk, Deputy Minister of Energy of Ukraine for European Integration, speaking live on the United News Marathon.
Russia may strike Ukrainian nuclear power plants under a fabricated pretext. Putin mentioned this during his speech at the Valdai Forum. He claimed that supposedly Ukraine is shelling the power lines leading to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and that's why Russian energy workers allegedly cannot restore the plant's power supply. At the same time, the dictator hinted that Ukraine has other nuclear power plants and that nothing is stopping Russia from responding in kind. Kremlin media are also spreading a fake statement from the so-called communications director of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, claiming that Kiev is lying about the plant being disconnected from the power supply. The Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine has proven that the accusations of information terrorism are a new manipulation by the Kremlin at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant.
In reality, the Russian occupation administration is deliberately not connecting the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant to the power lines, even though it is technically possible. The IAEA confirms that the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has been without external power for the longest period since the start of the full-scale war. Director General Rafael Grossi emphasized that diesel generators are the last line of defense and that such a situation cannot be considered safe. From a statement by the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine on Telegram,
the shelter built over the destroyed fourth reactor of the Chornobyl nuclear power plant lost power due to a Russian attack. It is currently running on emergency diesel generators. This was reported by the International Atomic Energy Agency. After the Russians struck the Slavutych substation, the shelter has been powered by 2 emergency diesel generators. Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that the Russian strike on the energy facility in Slavutych was deliberate. Because of this, there was a blackout at the Chornobyl nuclear power plant for more than 3 hours. If external power supply is not urgently restored at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, an accident could occur. This was stated by the head of the State Nuclear Regulatory Inspectorate, Ola Korokov. And, according to him, the safety systems at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant are currently being powered by diesel generators. For now, they are providing enough energy to cool the nuclear fuel in all 6 reactors. If the external power supply is not restored, the water temperature in the reactors will rise, the nuclear fuel could overheat, and this would lead to an accident.
Subscribe to The Gaze and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.